A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, there were two large militaries that lived together in peace at one time. And if you're wondering why I made that Star Wars reference, that was from one of my friends on YouTube. He would get it if you watch this video. That was for you, man. So here it is though. This is episode 1 of Armament Battles, how it started. So you can see what looks like a pretty powerful military parade. 3 rocket launchers, 3 mortar launchers, 2 men laying down, one of them standing up, and then 2 with powerful assault rifles. It's just a little military convoy. So these men over here standing on a special plastic disc to heighten them so when they're rockets, so they don't hit one of these guys. You know, makes sense. But then one day, I mean, you gotta remember, these guys were never allies or anything, but they weren't always fighting. And then one day, what happened was a yellow guy snuck in. You can see. Yeah, and this is going to be a kind of a funny film. I'm going to purposely make mistakes, by the way, just to let you guys know. So it's not going to be anything serious. So you could see him back here. He snuck in. And then his friend came in, too. And they didn't even notice over there that someone had snuck in. And then, now there were 3 guys in. Dun dun dun. They still didn't notice until all 3 men started firing. Killing all the men with powerful weapons. So these 2 guys right here, yeah, they turned around and then they ran over as fast as they could. Oh, whoops, sorry. And then they fell over. So they were all falling over there. So then these guys crawled in. They didn't even see them come in. And then fell down. He limped away. And then this guy ran over. Killed this guy. And this guy shot him right in the head. This guy shot him. And then he ran out. These guys who had finally managed to get up shot him. The other guy got up too. And then they sat together and then looked around at all their friends who were dead. They thought that this had been a strike from the Tan Army. Only 3 guys survived though. And this horrific attack, which they thought was due to the Tan Army instead of men actually trying to cause trouble. And then what happened was even worse. They went on, and some more men with powerful rocket launchers and other stuff went on. And then all these bodies were taken away for funerals. You know, the usual. These 3 men and many others went on to attack the Tan base. They got a tank. Well, kind of a small tank, which kind of ran these guys over, but didn't actually kill them. And then a little bit later, they got another tank, which was bigger. So then the 2 tanks drove with some guys behind them with rocket launchers, 2 rocket launcher men on a special disc to heighten them again. And they were ready to kill. They pulled up. The Yellow Army was not expecting an attack, as they did not actually plan the original one. So these men were just sitting here, and gunfire went off. Now, of course, what happened was the men immediately fired back. knocking this guy over. Ugh! And then this guy shot a rocket that which hit their barricade and killed them both. The army was now worried because they didn't know what they were gonna do. So then they sent in more guys to try to eliminate the Green Army. Of course, the Green Men, they could have asked them questions like, "Why'd you attack us?" And then they would have been like, "We didn't." But instead, what happened was they just went on and provoked them with an attack, an undeserving attack. They went in and shot this guy, but then he died because they shot his missiles right out of the air. And then the tank went in though. Shot 2 missiles, but they both missed and flew behind and hit the yellow guys behind them. But now these guys were furious. They all started shooting at the tank. The missile killed 3 of the guys and injured another. Ugh. But then he shot again. So this guy. The tank blew up. This tank then drove over and shot a missile, blowing this guy up. And then this guy crawled up, and more men came to join in the fight. They all shot, but then another green man came in miraculously and shot them. And the tank shot the third. Now, then what happened was the yellow men got a powerful man with a super powerful assault rifle thingy, and then he shot down the green guy, and then blew up the tank. And then more ambulances came and picked up all the dead men, and took away the 2 vehicles. And then the armies began expanding, but there was another military, well, sort of military, that wasn't very happy about the expansions of these militaries. They're known as the Indians. So they decided to try to fight back, and they knew this forest better than both those militaries. And so they brought in some men to try to halt the military. They had a decent amount too, including some guys with axes who kind of knocked over everyone else. The axes were too heavy, you know. But the 7 men waited, and the military tank came in. And the men began fighting. This guy right here, he shot at it. And the tank shot him down. Men with axes ran in. But they both were killed by the tank running them over. And then the tank shot. And their organs exploded all over the place. This guy dragged his carcass away and then shot his staff, threw it at the tank and did nothing. Then it turned out that it had been these guys were just sent to try to hold the tank, and then another guy who joined up with them, another military, they were extremely skilled in all sorts of attacking. They came in unseen. They just used the Indian guys to help them stop the tank so they could blow it up. And then they stood here, and more of them came in. And then all the guys started falling over because the tank shot them. Luckily for them, those guys were just mannequins dressed up. The real guys were these ones, who quickly took out the tank with skilled bowmanship, which destroyed the tank's armor, and then this guy shot it with a super powerful shotgun. All the carcasses were then dragged away by more ambulances, and the fighting continued on. But it continued on with a lot of bloodshed, also, if I need to add that in. And then the yellow guys were just waiting here one day. It could just be, it could be so simple as, you're just waiting there, and then the guys would sneak in and kill you. The yellow guys were waiting here with a powerful military barrage, however it's pronounced. They had men everywhere, aiming guns, ready to kill anyone at the first sight. Only problem being they weren't protecting themselves on the other side, but they figured that the other side wouldn't even be necessary to protect due to the fact that there was a thick layer of trees back there, and they thought that if the green guys were going to make it through, they were going to need to take the side that they were aiming towards. So they had all these guys set up, right? But then the Indians snuck back and just had one guy who used his powerful leaf blower here to kill the two of the guys back here, ripping out their organs. Then before another guy whipped around and shot him right in the face. But one of the shots bounced off his leaf blower and killed him too. And that's the story of how it all began. Goodbye.